So I got the new Call of Duty game, right? Stayed up last night, played it. Other than the servers, being down for the first 45 minutes, it was a pretty fun game. But my favorite thing about the entire experience was how fast the trash talking came back. I'm not kidding. After the first game, I was literally screaming into my microphone at the other team. It felt nice to be able to go back to the old days there. Like, it really did. Some things just never change. Anyway, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to a NFL news reaction video type deal where I'm going to talk about the game last night and a couple other things going on in the league. Couple of plugs as always. Don't forget to visit G Fuel. Don't forget to check out Waggle, where you can hit the link in my bio and it will bring you to a page of my favorite products that are happening right now, as the entire site is on a Black Friday sale. And last but not least, don't forget to use code WyattzWorld at sign up on Prize Picks, where you can guarantee yourself to win a free $50 with your first $5 entry. But as always, please remember to play responsibly, and let's get into the video. So, starting off with the reaction to yesterday's game, we had the Patriots moving to 9-2 as they smacked the Jets around for 3.5 hours. Look, there's a couple of things here about the Patriots that I want to say. One, Travion Henderson, even though I know his production wasn't the greatest, but man, this guy is not only a dual threat player, but he is a hard runner, like a very hard runner. He doesn't look like he can run as hard as he can. He can move a line. Also, I can get fried for this, but Drake May being, a top 3 quarterback right now, that's a very real conversation to be had. Just another game of elite football from Drake May, elite passes, elite completion percentage. Several plays once again where I thought he was either going down or the play was dead, but this man has literal eyes in the back of his skull that allow him to see anybody coming at him from any direction. Also, shout out to Diggs too, who logged in 9 catches for 105 yards, and Mac Hollins with 4 for 64, and this man's on pace to have a career year. And now we look at the Jets and we get the typical Jets story here. Justin Fields playing like shit. I mean, what was the fumble? I was watching it on my phone because I was in the car at the time, but it did not look that low to me. Like, he literally just dropped the snap. He has 48 fumbles since 2021. That's the most in the NFL. Like, people are saying Justin Fields should convert to running back because he probably would be pretty good at it, but you're gonna have to super glue that ball to his hands because this guy can't hold on to it. Also, A.D. Mitchell. I mean, that had to have been one of the worst games I have ever seen when it comes to being a wide receiver. I mean, what? He had 3 awful drops last night, one of them being on a play where he actually burnt Christian Gonzalez, and I think it would have been a touchdown too, but the man literally has bricks for hands and he can't hang on to anything. I think this is a good time to also just hand the nickname down to A.D. Mitchell. Marquez Valdez-Scantling held it forever. I'm talking brick hands here. I think we can relieve him of his duties. A.D. Mitchell now claims the title. Also, I gotta say something on a real note to Bills and Patriots fans here, because I'm on social media all the time. I live on social media, but I see some frustrated Bills Mafia out there. I see some, well, assholes, to be real. You need to chill, because when Buffalo ran the division for what, the last 5-6 seasons, and we still can win the division too, by the way. It's gonna be very, very tough. We're gonna need a lot of luck, but that entire time, man, I did not have a single negative experience with the Patriots fan. Not one, not a single time. And I think it's only right that as like a fan base, we return that favor. And trust me, I know the history of the Patriots and the Bills. Like, yeah, it sucks ass that they're back, but like, you can't just going around being assholes because of that. I don't know, personal take, I guess. Moving on, kind of continuing to talk about the Jets here, Garrett Wilson was placed on IR, being out for at least 4 games. Now, what's funny about this is I actually tweeted back at the NFL saying, I understand this is horrible for him, but as long as Fields is quarterback, it really doesn't matter. And then you see last night's game with A.D. Mitchell thinking if that was Garrett Wilson, it would have been a completely different game. Probably be a good time to just delete this, huh? But what I wanted to piggyback off of is, I'm not saying that I firmly believe this, but I would not be surprised if we never see him play as a Jet again. What's crazy about this is he just signed a massive contract, but he also has every single right to try and force his way out of there, especially if they don't give him a legitimate reason to play. I mean, yes, okay, the millions and millions of dollars is a legitimate reason, but he should go play for someone that can give him a chance to win, because like, dude, he's gonna piss his career away here. I feel like when he signed that contract, they had a gun to his head. Like, he didn't have a choice. It was like, hey, Garrett, you want to play here still? Here's some money. And he's like, eh. And then he turned around and the firing squad was staring at him and he's like, okay, shit. Moving on to this interesting piece here, L'Jarius Sneed might be fucked, really. Like, he might be done. So I just read this. Basically, it sounds like last December, there was an incident where 2 people were shot at, and they claimed it was L'Jarius Sneed. They said that they saw him get in and out of the car, and they saw that exact car come by and shoot at them. Okay, well, now as time has passed, they have recovered video footage of not only L'Jarius Sneed at the same gas station as these guys, but I believe I also read that they got his car driving by the dealership that they were shot at. They were sitting in like a Volkswagen or something. And yeah, it sounds like he might be getting wrapped up here for attempted murder. I don't think he's arrested at the moment, maybe. But that seriously could be the end of his career. Like, he might never play again. That's absolutely wild. Why do athletes do that shit? I don't get it. You have one of the coolest jobs in the world where you're able to make so much money that you can not only set yourself up, but your parents and typically, you know, generations after you. If you're smart with your money and you throw it all away to have a gun, and on top of that, fucking fire it at somebody. Like, I don't get it. Some people just, they do not think at all. There's no thinking. Fucking A, man. Now we have AJ Brown standing on business, man. I respect him a lot for this. So there was a Twitch stream he played on Tuesday, and he said 2 things that really riled people up. One of the things he said is, if you got me on fantasy, drop me. And the other thing he said is, after the game of Madden, this guy was reading the stats that AJ got in the game, and AJ said, damn, that's the only highlights of football I'm getting this year. So obviously that blew up and spread like wildfire, and when the media interviewed AJ, he said, I'm not apologizing for talking about my frustration. If you have eyes, you can see why I'm mad, and that he's just pushing for the offense to improve because he wants to win and make an impact. Rightfully so. He's one of the best receivers in the league. Like, I wouldn't apologize for shit either. It's literally the freedom of speech, and he's speaking the truth, by the way. Moving on, we have news about Jaire Alexander. It says he has informed the team he is stepping away from the team to focus on getting right physically and mentally per source. Look, I know I give this guy a fair amount of shit, but when it comes to getting your mental health right, man, I have nothing but support for you in the fullest extent. Also, good on him for, you know, taking that break. Take your time and come back better than ever. And ending today's video, I just have a question I want to leave you all with, because I think it's a very good question. Me and my dad talked about this last night on the way to our bowling league, and I even asked it on Twitter this morning. Who do you guys think would win in a bar fight? I'm talking all out, anything goes bar fight between Dan Campbell and Mike Vrabel. Dan Campbell is 6'5", Mike Vrabel is 6'4". Not sure about their weights. I feel like they're probably pretty comparable, but who do you think would honestly win the fight? And I know some people are saying like, oh, Dan Campbell, because he'd bite a kneecap off. Nobody's biting a fucking kneecap in a fight, okay? No, seriously. Who would win in a fight? I think personally, I'm going with Mike Vrabel on this one. To me, he seems like way more of a hard ass. Mike Vrabel was also an all-pro linebacker at one point in his career. Like, you just know this guy knows how to hit people, and I feel like you get a couple beers in him, he could still lay a shoulder into somebody as hard as he ever could. Another thing, Mike Vrabel's 50, Dan Campbell's 49, so he does have a little advantage there with the youth. But I really don't think that he would beat Vrabel in a fight. I feel like Dan Campbell would immediately go for a punch like most people do in a fight, and that's where Vrabel would just scoop him, slam him, and I bet you just pummel the absolute piss out of him. I do not think it would be a long fight at all. Like, some people are imagining, you know, like The Rock and fucking Vin Diesel. Like, I'm talking real fight. Campbell's sleeping in 20 seconds. And that is going to be all for today's news video, everybody. You know I appreciate you for being here, and if you want to show support to this video, please do it, because you know I appreciate all the help. However, in the meantime, I'm going to get this whipped up so we can all get a start to this weekend. If you're going to play some Call of Duty, maybe I'll see you on the battlefield out there. No promises that I'm not going to smoke ya, but have fun doing what you're doing. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you in the next upload.